problem reaction solution. We are looking at a gigantic con trick before our eyes. We don't live in a democracy in this country or in America or in these other places. We live in a one-party state where the same force from the peak of the pyramid string pulls all sides. The creation of a one-world government to which nation-states would be principalities, administrative units, a world central bank which would administer all financial transactions on the planet, a world currency which wouldn't be coins and notes, it would be merely electronic, cashless society for which there are fundamental implications for freedom, as we'll see as we go along tonight. A world army under centralized control with nation-state armies dismantled under the justification of seeking peace, and a microchipped population linked to a global computer, the latter of which sounds bizarre to many people on first hearing, except that we are ridiculously close to it and the technology already exists. So World Health Organization says there's going to be a measles epidemic next year. Get vaccinated. Get your children vaccinated. You're a bad parent if you don't. Then the same people that organize that then start flogging out the vaccine and make a fortune out of it. So if we take one element of that under problem reaction solution, it's amazing the extent to which we have given our power away.
Yeah, you know, this video actually is David Icke, and this was actually done in 1996. And he was talking about problem reaction solution. The popular phrase for today is called the Hegelian dialect. And back in 96, right, even through his research, he was able to see what the wicked elite were planning. And guess what? Guess who's also out there teaching that same truth using the Bible scripture? The apostles, the elders, the great millstone. And using scripture, and still to this day, they have been teaching that, and we have been teaching that. And in a short period of time, what's that, 1996? So in a short period of 30 years, we are now here. And did you hear what he said? He said a central bank system, which we're already basically in. The CBDCs means central bank digital currency. Everybody under one rule. Why? Because he understood that on the back of the American dollar, that's the wicked elite boasting of their agenda, which is what? A one world government, new world order, with the all-seeing eye being the wicked elite and the national bankers pulling all the strings. Controlled opposition. That's Revelation 13, chapter 11, where it said, 2 horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. In the Roman Empire, they were known as the plebeians and patricians. Today, they're known as the Democrats and Republic. It's the same thing. But it's 2 horns of the same beast, because it's the same man. They both pushing for the same agenda. And you might say, well, what's the point of that? Well, the point of that is, like the scripture says, it's like a lamb. It has the appearance that is innocent, docile, right? It gives the illusion of the people that they chose this, that there was a fair trial, so to speak. And we've got here because of this person's votes, that person votes, this person not doing this, that person not doing that. But in actuality, it's controlled opposition on both sides to get the agenda to where they want. There is no president or mayor or senate that's going to get into an office and make any change that's going to steer this world towards away from the powers that be. No, they all push towards the goal. And they have to put on the show to give you the illusion that they're resisting, or that they're fighting back, or that there's some type of fight. But in actuality, they're all controlled. They're all paid puppets. That's why you have agents, agent provocateurs, etc. This is how the devil operates. He operates by means of deception. That's why the scripture says 2 horns like a lamb, but spake as a dragon. The dragon represents draconian measures, harsh, cruel measures. This is all in the name of peace. Even he said that, right? And the scripture says that by peace shall destroy many. Okay, and the scripture says that what? When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh. And there's not Donald Trump in the office right now claiming that he's a leader of world peace. He's saying he wants peace with Venezuela. He wants peace in the Middle East. Well, we know what that means. That means war. That means destruction. This is how this man operates, and this is what the scriptures warned us about. Literally warned us about this. And even David Icke understood their agenda and their goal. which he, like I said, this video is in 1996. And he even mentioned the infamous microchip. And yeah, back then you couldn't get anybody to believe that. You couldn't even get anybody to believe that in the early 2000s. But guess what? The apostles and elders been saying it when they came on YouTube in 2008 about that microchip, which is why a lot of Israelite groups laughed and mocked at it, because they didn't see it coming anytime soon. So let's say like 2008 all the way to 2026, that's less than 20 years. In a short period of time, we're basically already at that point. And then you have the powers that be that's in charge. Look at all the people that's in charge. Do you think it's a coincidence that you have Donald Trump, which is Nero in the reincarnation, back? Do you think it's a coincidence that you have the gates of hell, Bill Gates, who I believe to be Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth? Him. Do you think it's a coincidence that you also have Elon Musk in the position of power, the techno geek? Now all of a sudden he's a politician, and he's on a team of power that has power. And is it a coincidence that all of these people just so happen to have an infatuation with microchips and embedding devices in the people's skins? Do you think it's a coincidence that all the people of the WEF, which they're supposed to be the so-called world leaders, do you think it's a coincidence that all of them are talking about embedding things under the skin for monitoring, for control? Do you think all of this is a coincidence? It surely is not. It's all prophesied, and everything that David Icke said is true. Why? Because the wicked elite seek to be the most high on the planet Earth, and they will try to push this agenda by means of force. This is what the book of Revelations warns us about. This is why people will say the book of Revelation is so scary, it's so spooky, because it speaks about this tyrannical beast, Esau Edom, with force coming down with wrath on the people to subjugate them into perpetual servitude and slavery. And he's going to do that by using the digital means. That's why there are threats. What are their threats? If you say what we don't like, we can shut you off from the world. We could turn you off from the world. Now you can't survive. Right? The book of Proverbs 16, the preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord Yahweh. So the people in charge, all the people in rulership right now, the Lord put them there. It's not a coincidence. These wicked devils are gonna push forward with their agenda, and they actually got their foot on the gas pedal, because they know that the Lord is coming and their time is short. So they're trying to move things out ASAP. So this is the truth of the matter. All of these things is being revealed, and this man simultaneously, especially Amalek, is being revealed. That's why the Lord said that in a mocking sense, he's talking to these wicked elite. Isaiah 47:12, stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou mayest be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. And what is it that the Lord promised that will come upon the virgin daughter of Babylon? Destruction, exposure, resistance. So the Lord is saying, because you've all, stood firmly with your witchcraft, with your wickedness, let that save you. Go ahead, use by means of deception, use your false flags, your crisis agents, crisis actors. Use your deception. Use that. Use your manipulation. Go ahead and use it. See if it's going to work. And it's failing him. So when they do a crisis act, people are looking and they say, "Wait a minute, that don't make sense. That ain't real. Wait a minute. This person technically already died in 2008. How is it this person is alive? This is a psyop." Amalek is trying to convince the world that the real threat are the Palestinians and Hamas and all that, but everybody now, they drop Hamas, they drop that. They don't even say it anymore because it can't work anymore. People saying, no, you just the devil. You just want that land. You're the one that really don't want peace. So he's moving fast and he's coming down with great wrath. He's shooting fire out his nostrils, threatening, saying, you will be quiet, you will obey, you will not listen, you will believe me, right? You will believe me when we tell you that we're the victims and that we're seeking world peace. You will do that or else. He was responding with wrath. You know, he's falling slowly, fast, I should say, day by day. That's why Yahweh Shah said, I behold Satan fall as lightning. Look at how fast he's falling. Oh, and he's going to push forward this agenda. And this is what he's going to do. So if he's going to crash that dollar, he's going to crash that dollar because he wants to bring in what? The central bank currency. So that he can quickly get everybody under control so that he could subjugate them as slaves forever. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. Okay, who is that? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. His agenda, his plans, the image of the beast, which is a new world order, the mark of the beast, which is that microchip. Okay, the wicked. Okay, Esau, Edom, the one who's really the chief of the wicked, which is the least of the flock, that's going to draw the people to World War III. Amalek, who's the chief of the wicked. This is what's happening now, that exposure. And due to the nature of this man, his exposure is going to lead him to wrath, because as Yahweh Shah said, they don't like the light. John 3, verse 19, and this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, and his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Yahweh. So they don't like being exposed, because then they lose power. They lose leverage. And what happens when by way of deception, by way of trying to convince the people that they're the victims and everything they're doing is for the sake of world peace, they're trying to stop Iran, they're the bad guys, not us, they're the bad guys. What happens when that all starts to fail? Then they're going to resort to wrath, man. They're going to resort to violence, concentration camps. That's what the book of Revelation warns. The devil, seeing that his power is losing from his grasp, so he comes down with great wrath upon the world, and especially our people, Jacob, especially, which is going to lead him to bring in that microchip, which is the mark of the beast, to enslave the people forever. This is his agenda, this is his goal, and he will not stop until he sees that comes in full effect. And is his main driving force, okay? His main, you can say, his main factor that drives him to get closer and closer to that is by way of deception, to deceive. But what happens when that deception no longer works? Wrath. So he has to speed things up. He has to move things quick. He has to crash the dollar quick. He has to get these concentration camps quick. He set up Trump put up that concentration camp, Alligator Alcatraz. You know, he had that up in like 9 days. He built that in 9 days, I believe. So any project that he wants, he's going to get it done quick. He don't have time. They don't have the time. You see, this is why the Lord said the days are short. With that, I'm giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem HaRakakodash. Send double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Shalom.